Hello everybody, Sam from RoadTrailRun. We're going to review the Brooks Ghost 14 and the Mizuno Wave Rider 25 together. I'm going to take them on an A/B test. You say, why together? Well, they have identical within 1 millimeter stack with the Ghost at 35.23 and the Wave Rider 1 millimeter more front and back. They have identical drops of 12 millimeters. In terms of weight, the Ghost only weighs 1/10 of an ounce more than the Wave Rider, which weighs 9.77 ounces, 277 grams in a US 9, and they are priced almost identically with the Ghost at $130 and the Wave Rider at $135. Now, what's really interesting is they both have energetic, softer foams, with the Mizuno having energy throughout the whole shoe, unlike the 24, and the Ghost having DNA loft, the entire midsole. So they both kind of share an all energetic, softer foam midsole. They both have engineered mesh uppers, with the Ghost a bit more relaxed, a bit more pliable than the somewhat better held Wave Rider. You can see the 3D printing on the collars, which is basically all the structure here. There's no gusset. We do have a wider platform, I think, with a kind of a bulbous heel, which really stabilizes things, and the outsole has fuller coverage, whereas our Mizuno gets a redesigned wave plate with a more aggressive geometry. You can see on the lateral side it's a little less pronounced than the medial side, but this is not a stability shoe, but it sure provides some nice, steady support. Oh, in addition to taking them solo, I took them on an A/B test here in Park City. That was the McPolin Barn. On the bike pass, quite a bit of vertical, 400 or 500 feet. Beautiful run through, headed towards the Snyderville Basin. Folks have some interesting things at their drive, reflecting the mining heritage of the Park City area, which was a lot of silver mining. Okay, we're a few miles into our run. That's Park City Mountain over there, and Deer Valley way in the back. And this is the McPolin Farm preserved area. And over there is the Canyons ski area. Some clouds, very unusual. We actually had some rain. Never rains in the desert. So I got both the Mizuno Wave Rider 25 on the right and the Ghost 14 on the left. Now let's talk a bit about fit. The Mizuno has a better heel hold and a somewhat snugger toe box, but in no way overly snug, whereas our Ghost 14 has a more relaxed fit, overall kind of more unstructured upper. I will say that both shoes are a 9, so half size up from my true to size. So I will say this is my narrower foot with the Wave Rider, fits just about perfectly, maybe a touch long, whereas my wider foot here with the Ghost fits a little loose. So that tells me the Ghost will be a very kind of comfortable, easy fitting, true to size. And I think if you don't have a super wide foot, you'll be fine at true to size in the Wave Rider. Both have many widths. I think the issue with the Ghost upper is it does not have a gusset tongue, whereas the Mizuno does. So I'm getting some lift off the front. I think it would benefit from a bit more lockdown. So I'm gonna keep going. Okay, let's talk about the ride of these two. First, just to remind, they weigh almost exactly the same. The Wave Rider 25 weighs 277 grams, 9.77 ounces. And our Ghost weighs 9.88 ounces, 280 grams. And they have almost exactly the same stack heights, around 35.23 for our Ghost and 36.24 for the Wave Rider. And the math tells us they both have a big 12 millimeter drop. So these shoes are very, very close in statistics. And during my A/B test just now, they're very close in ride, but there are some differences. So what I'm going to do first is talk about the Ghost 14. It's sort of going to be a initial review of that. We're going to have the full multi-tester review. For our Wave Rider, we already have the multi-tester review up at RoadTrailRun.com. So our Ghost. I mentioned while I was running that there's the upper is quite unstructured, and I'll repeat that. This is a 9, half size up from my normal, and I would be, I think, okay at true to size, but I think what we're really missing here is a bit of a gusset tongue to hold it together, because as you can see, this is a very pliable mesh. But this is a very comfortable, easy-going upper. It really doesn't have issues per se, but if you really start to crank on it, pick up the pace, you'll find the front of the foot lifting a bit more than I would like to see, and I think that a gusset tongue in here would help. In terms of its actual ride, I remember well the 13 was kind of a very soft, mushy, especially up in the front of the shoe. I really didn't enjoy it, and it also had sort of some upper structure issues. Well, Brooks has done something different here with the front, and I think part of it may be that our full DNA loft midsole might be a touch firmer, whereas before it was soft on the lateral side here, and it had the DNA, regular DNA on the medial side. Here, now it's entirely DNA loft, so it's a soft, forgiving ride. However, what they've done, and I'll show you a picture right now of the 13's outsole, is they've considerably filled in the rubber in here. This is a fairly soft rubber. It's softer than the Wave Rider, but this makes a big difference. I didn't find any kind of mushiness at any pace, but a softer, easygoing ride. In terms of the new geometry, you can see that broader heel now than in the 13. We have a very nice, stable landing. This isn't a stability shoe, but your far rear heel is very stable. Whereas over here with our Wave Rider 25, we have a little bit narrower feeling landing, still very stable, but I think a big difference comes from the giant decoupling here at the heel. So you have a little bit more stable landing with the Ghost. Things start to change going forward. You have a kind of a flatter feel through the midfoot here, a little flatter, a little slower to transition. Whereas with our more extreme now wave plate, and they've made it more less flat than the 24, you really feel an impulse coming forward. Now, as you get towards the front of the shoe, there's definitely the Wave Rider 25 is not quite as soft and thickly cushioned at the sort of the ball of the foot, midfoot, as our Ghost. It's subtle, but I think it's real. However, it is snappier in feel. More the combination of our plate plus, I think, what feels like firmer outsole rubber in a really very similar kind of pattern gives it a bit more snap, if a touch less forefoot cushion. So the Wave Rider feels a little faster, and with its upper a little more secure, really. So the Wave Rider, even though these shoes are very, very, very similar in all respects, a little bit more aggressive, a little snappier. The Energy foam we have here, which is all Energy now, has a touch more kind of distinctive rebound, whereas our DNA Loft is kind of a little bit softer, a bit more, doesn't bounce back quite as fast. So the Wave Rider is a bit more energetic, but they're very, very close. So in terms of recommendations, well, you really can't go wrong with either. But if you want kind of a comfort, all comfort, soft ride, I don't think you're really going to handle, even though it's a daily trainer, it doesn't really lean towards the faster side of daily trainer. But if you just need a shoe that's super comfortable, very well cushioned, stable at the heel, stable at the forefoot, an upper that is roomy, so those that maybe were on the edge of a wide, and they're both available in wide, in the 13 could go a regular width here because of the room. You go with the Ghost. Now if you want really a similar ride but a bit more snap, a little more aggressive, to maybe a touch faster, more secure upper, a little bit more, but even again, very comfortable, more secure heel hold from the heel counter. You go with the Mizuno Wave Rider 25, which for all of us was a huge surprise. I never ran the 24, but I did take it, go to the store when this one was new and looked at a 24, put one on each foot. And what I noticed was less arch pressure, softer, more kind of rebound, a much, much more comfortable upper. Really a same geometry, but a really, really improved shoe. So both are really top contenders if you want a more traditional, comfort-oriented daily trainer with a 12 millimeter drop. And quite frankly, the 12 millimeter drop really isn't super noticing either, because they've done a great job with the geometry. Here, our Ghost has an all new midsole geometry. Here's what the 13 look like. And the Wave Rider has a new kind of more aggressive geometry to its plate. Plus, it has the all energy. So they're really, really fine, basic daily trainers. Our Wave Rider 25 is out in mid-July, as is our Ghost is also out in July. Our Wave Rider is $135, and our Ghost is 14. 14 is 130. So we're going to have our full multi-tester review of the Ghost up just about as this video comes out, and we have our multi-tester review of the Wave Rider already up. Both really fine choices. Thank you very much for watching. We hope you'll consider subscribing to our channel, and have a great run.